wait for Jacob to throw me the 5x5 as he usually does. We'll get rolling on tonight. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to try to get the screen rolling on my end so I can see what's going on. All right, I can see me. So, yep, there we go. Jake can see me. All right, good deal. All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Can you believe we've been doing this for 3 months on Tuesdays now? I couldn't believe it when I realized this was the 12th episode. So we've been doing this for 3 months now. So wanted to start off on today's video and say thank you to everybody. I need to go out and buy a notebook for all the great ideas that y'all put in there. Really appreciate everybody chiming in with all sorts of natural remedies for all sorts of different ailments that may come about. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them in there that I'd never even heard of. I mean, the plants and everything like that. So that was really cool to see it. So I'm hoping everybody got a chance to take notes. But if you just took notes on the video, I mean, I apparently only scratched the surface. You guys know a hell of a lot more about all of that than I do. So yeah, go back and just take a look through all the comments at some of the great ideas and things in there to grow for different ailments that may, affect you or your family or anything like that. Like I said, for me, the blood pressure one's important, and a whole bunch of people threw ideas in there, but I saw stuff on diabetes and cholesterol and asthma and of course burns and infections and everything like that. So it was really cool to see you guys all chime in. That's kind of why I love this whole family here and doing all this, because it's the sharing of information that makes all of us better at what we're doing as preppers, and we can all learn from each other, which is just the whole point of everybody doing this. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who did that. I will be spending the evening, well, maybe some of it tonight, writing down all your ideas and going in for a medical journal, if you will, that I'm going to have, because who knows when I'm going to need this? Who knows what happens 5 years from now? I mean, as long as I've got it, I'm certainly not going to be going to try to find this video 5 years from now. But if I've got it in a book in my storeroom, I'm good to go. So, okay. So that was it. I saw, obviously, Jacob's in here. I think, my brother, you are the only one of the mods that's in here so far. And I saw a few of you guys talking about snow, so y'all can keep the snow. All right. We got thunderstorms overnight. That was enough for me. But yeah, so very good stuff to talk about. And I guess there's a big cold weather front coming through you guys, Midwest and up in the Northeast. So stay warm, guys, and don't get too crazy with the snowball fights. So, all right. Well, that was pretty much the only thing I wanted to start the night out with. Same rules as always, guys. Please put all the questions in caps so I can read them, and we'll kind of go through from there. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about. So, all right. So I'm going to scroll back up here and just kind of see where we are. And that's everybody saying good evening. So, looks like we've got a whole bunch of names I recognize in here. Okay, so where are you? Jules, you're on notebook number 2 from all the info. Okay, well, all right. I'm guessing they're real thin notebooks because there's not that much I can give you guys, I don't think. Becky bought 4 books on herbalism. There we go. Good deal. If you find any good tips in there, Becky, make sure you share them with the family here, because we can all use the information too. So appreciate it from everybody helping out again. Denise Bissell, grain shortage, Ice Age farmer. I heard something about that. TJ did a video earlier this evening, said buying your grain now. And where this will sound really funny, okay, but I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of story on this one. So on a video, I think it was either Saturday's video or Sunday's video, somebody had mentioned going to watch, it was on my video on Navalny, okay, and the protests in Russia, but whatever day that was. And one of you guys had mentioned to go watch Letters from King. So I went to go watch his videos. And as you all know, you watch a video and then all of a sudden in your recommendeds comes up other ones. And so I got recommended another video from somebody in Russia. Okay. And of course, those are going to interest me for obvious reasons. So I started watching this, and one of the videos there, this was, when did he do this? Saturday, I think it was going through a grocery store in Russia. Gee, miraculously, what were they all out of? Rice, pasta, and buckwheat. Now, buckwheat is a main staple over there. We eat it here for breakfast, sometimes for dinner, stuff like that too. But so when I saw TJ's video, and then of course you commenting here about Ice Age Farmer, about the shortage of grains, that's not only here, that seems to be at least in Russia as well. So that tells me that we may have a worldwide grain shortage, which kind of flows back into what TJ was saying, well, buy your grains now. So, if you haven't got your oatmeal, if you haven't got your flour, or if you're doing the wheat berries and you've got a grinder to do it yourself, that, yeah, make sure you guys get those, because again, even if it's not some, end of the world type SHTF situation we go through, if we can't find flour this summer or oatmeal or something like that, you're going to want to have some. You can't eat eggs for breakfast every day. Otherwise, we're going back to yesterday's video and looking for cholesterol issues. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting to see more things than one, kind of coming in from different directions, stuff that I watch. Okay, so I got to scroll back up here and see where I am, because of course we get lost. Where are we? Okay. Moldy Soldier got buried in snow last night in central Iowa. Yeah, I guess it's all over the place. So it sounds to me, from what you guys are saying, it's like exactly where they said, Midwest all the way to the Northeast. Okay. And Jacob giving the rules there. Okay. Do I plant, Patty B asks, do I plant medicinal plants? I've got purple coneflower all over the place for that purpose. I've got a couple of elderberry bushes. Obviously, I plant, well, maybe not obviously, I think I've mentioned it. Obviously, I plant garlic. Also have lavender planted. So yes, I have some, but you guys just gave me a whole bunch of list of other ones to do. Things I'm not planting dandelions. But yeah, so there's some other ones in there. Celery, somebody mentioned. I've actually got a volunteer celery plant coming up in January in one of my gardens from throwing out some of my vegetable scraps in the gardens to let them decompose. And I've got a voluntary celery plant. So yes, I do. And I do plan on planting more because now I know more. All right. So let's see what else we got. August Blue, don't forget to buy your grits. I can't stand grits. Okay, no, don't like grits. Don't like collards. Don't like black-eyed peas. And I know y'all are asking, what the hell am I doing living down south? Okay, but I didn't grow up on them, so they're not something that I like. But I can't stand grits. No offense to those that do. I love corn. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like grits. Nancy Young, high cholesterol is not caused by eating fat. The breakdown of the word triglyceride means 3 sugars. Excess carb intake causes high cholesterol. Yes, it does. And then of course you have the foods and stuff like that are going to have it. Like I mentioned, eggs there or something. And yeah, we could all, the entire population of the world, I think, could pretty much reduce our carb intake because pretty much you can go anywhere and we've all gotten too fat. Even when I went to the doctor last week, doctor says less white stuff, more green stuff. So, I'm like, well, yeah, it's winter time. So, green stuff will be coming here soon enough, and a lot more exercise as well. Hang on, it scrolled up on me again there. So I got to find where I was. And guys, if I do miss one of your questions, please put it up again so I can see it. Because as I'm scrolling by, I try to roll back up to the top and look for them. USA Prepper, did I confirm cicadas coming to East Tennessee this year? Yeah, I actually looked it up. Val Robinson had sent me or made a comment on there, and so I went and looked it up. And yeah, I guess the cicadas are supposed to come everywhere from Georgia to New York and about as far west as West Tennessee. So yeah, I'm like right in the middle of it. And so, of course, that meant I had to do my research because I'm like, oh my God, I better not take out my gardens. But our fruit trees, I was worried about because they've only been in for about a year and a half. And we actually got a couple of really tasty peaches last year. I don't want to lose our fruit trees. So this evening, I had purchased some netting to go over the trees. I did a little research on that and found 1 centimeter square netting will keep the cicadas off. So I bought a couple. I got 4 fruit trees that needed them, so bought a couple of that. So it wasn't bad. They're like $7.50 a piece for each one of the netting, so it wasn't overly expensive. But yeah, I confirmed it. I've already taken the steps. I mean, it won't happen until May, but like anything else, I'm not waiting till April and then you can't get anything. So it's like, okay, fine, I'll buy it in January and I'll sit in a closet for 3 months. Old Rider, have I heard anything about the situation on the China-Indian border? If there's something that's happened in the last couple of days, no, I haven't. Honestly, guys, I have not even turned on the news. I think the last time I turned on the news was Friday. Uh, I'm just kind of taking a news detox for a little bit. You can kind of tell by my videos, they're not news related whatsoever. Uh, just because even by not doing it, I still see enough about what's going on with the new administration, and I'm kind of detoxing myself from the news for a little bit. Just another way to get my blood pressure down. Cream of wheat. I do like cream of wheat. Somebody said that, and of course it scrolled away on me here. So there we go. Mamie KB. Yeah, April Carey, how did people feed their chickens way back in the day before you couldn't just go to town and buy feed? Right, exactly. I mean, you had to grow the food for the chickens, or then, of course, the bugs or whatever that you were collecting and the mealworms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you had to, your livestock, again, was something that you had to grow feed for. I mean, granted, cattle or pigs or whatever could graze, as much as you can, but yeah, you were taking the corn you were growing, hard corn, and feeding it to your cattle or whatever it would be. Yeah, I mean, it's another mouth to feed. America First, no kitty grits with just a little. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what kitty grits are, but I'm not a grits man. Chickens love cabbage, CKOC says there. It's okay, so do I. So I'll keep my neighbor's chickens out of my garden. What do we got here? Wild Man, when will ammo supplies get back to normal? Brother, your guess is as good as mine on that one. I don't see that for a while. My guess is at least after the 2022 elections, because as I've said on a couple of videos before, the way they're going to do gun control is by reducing ammo. And that's what it is. They're either going to tax the crap out of it, or they're just going to restrict the amount in sales, everything. Because if they can't take the guns, they just make them useless by no ammo. So, we all talked about this. Everybody talked about it last summer. Buy the ammo, buy the ammo, buy the ammo, buy the ammo, and a lot of people did, and of course, that caused the other shortage. But yeah, I don't see the prices of ammo going down, and I don't see the supply of ammo going up anytime soon. Michelle Loves Freedom. Have I ever made a solar dehydrator? Can you? No, I've never made one. I don't know if you could do it. I mean, there probably you could get a solar generator and hook it up to your dehydrator up to it. Sure, but I'm just thinking of you're not getting. and again, I'm going to speculate here. I'm just thinking you're not able to suck the moisture out sufficiently enough, because if you think of a dehydrator with that fan, it's sucking all the uh, humidity, for lack of a better term, out of the dehydrator. You really can't do that uh, just putting something out in the sun for the most part. I mean, you could probably rig something to somehow work, but I'm like I said, my guess is you're pretty much probably looking at solar panels hooked up to your dehydrator is probably just going to be what you're going to eventually wind up building. Interesting question. I never gave that a thought. I'm not an engineer. So, okay. Patty B, how does a human consume catnip? Tea? I suppose you can make tea, but what I had mentioned today was actually chewing on the catnip yourself for toothache or something like that, and just, I mean, direct, like chewing tobacco. Well, not chewing tobacco. No, that'd be dip. But you think of like chewing gum. I guess would probably be the best way there, for at least for a toothache. And we just scrolled up. Hang on. Okay. Okay, Covers Corner Suburban Homestead. Where did you find your netting at? I researched it after your video too. We have 3 trees to cover. I found it on Amazon. I just did a search for, what did I search for? Tree nettings for insects or something like that. And the one I found was, I think it was $12.99 if you bought one, and or no, I think it was $7.99 if you bought one, and $12.99 if you bought two. And it was basically a 4 foot by 5 foot, roughly, big net bag that you put over the tree, and that's got drawstring on the bottom, which I figure is perfect. So just put the whole bag over the small trees and go from there. Uh, Depending on the size of the tree. From what I read, the cicadas go after the young trees. So, and mine are a year and a half old or so. So that would be the right size for me. Huge trees, they're not going to do that much damage to. MS, did you happen to buy call options on GME GameStop? Dude bought $50 worth of it, and they're now worth 25 million. Okay. Yeah. I know I heard something last week about GameStop going silly, but I didn't realize, I mean, even options obviously exponentially, but yeah, $50 to 25 million. Unless the options are running a penny a piece or something. Wall Street bets. Yeah, that's pretty much what options are. It's legalized gambling. Chief Jim, watching hockey and pinball, no news. All right, I'll give you that one. We were actually in Vegas when the first year for the Golden Knights, and went to a couple of games. More fun that those, and then of course going to the Stanley Cup in the first year was absolutely, just insane for, here you're 100 degrees outside watching hockey, because everybody go downtown to the stadium, and they had the big screens outside because you couldn't get in. The tickets were all sold out. But yeah, so you thousands of people sitting in all the bars and strip, watching a hockey game outside, partying in Vegas or whatever, in 100-degree temperature, because it's perfect temperature for a hockey game. Where are we? Sea Dog 357. Am I a fan of ham radio? What other form of communication you like? I'm not a fan of ham. Okay, let's put it this way. I understand its place and everything. I think different types of radio are going to be useful in different types of situations. The one thing I don't like about ham radio is that you have to have a license to use it, et cetera. We've talked about this before. License to use it, and unless you get that license, training on the ham radio is impossible. And then going to get your license, the nearest place for me I'm guessing would probably be somewhere in Knoxville to go get my license. You know, who knows? I remember somebody told me it was 300 miles away. I think they were in Florida to go get theirs. So, uh, does it have its place? Absolutely. Okay. But I think in an SHTF situation, it's your communication is going to be limited a lot more to your local area that you need, you know, with your mag and everything. Sure, ham radio for getting news. I understand that. Totally get it. Okay. But I also think news will spread through the community relatively quickly, even on with any sort of radio. Uh, I see absolutely no problem with CB radios. You get out on a CB radio at night, you get on the skip, and I mean you can pick up, you know, halfway around the world. I've done that before. Uh, my personal choice for radio is two-way radios because at least they're somewhat secure. You know, CB obviously you're broadcasting to anybody and everybody who's on that channel. Uh, Two-way radios, you know, you've got to have somebody else has got to be on that same channel that's pre-programmed into a radio. It's not like somebody goes scanning for it. So, uh, and usually when you get those radios, you're going to know pretty quick if you're crossing over into somebody else's bandwidth. So yeah, ham radio has its place, but my choice is going to be a two-way radio, CB radio, and then it's going to be a ham radio. That's my personal preference. Brianna, small herd of cows, 6 head. Not sure how we keep them alive during a North Dakota winter. Well, I gotta think you could. I mean, they've been raising cattle and buffalo and everything like that up in, you know, Montana and Wyoming and the Dakotas for centuries. So, uh, you know, I've got to think we've got better technology to do it now than they did in the 1800s, and they managed to do it back then. America first. Free range them chickens. Free range. Okay. What else we got here? Scrolling on down. Oh, okay. MS 50,000 to 25 million. Okay. That makes a little, I mean, for options, I mean, yeah, that guy's real happy, but I mean, dumping 50 grand into an options play, that's ballsy in itself. But hey, it panned out for him. I mean, though, a hit like that, somebody's going to be taking a look at that one real quick, you know, because if I remember correctly, GameStop was a penny stock too, or if not a penny stock, you know, definitely under $10. And somebody put 50 grand on something like that on options and all of a sudden turn it into 25 mil. There's going to be a little bit of looking there. Amy Arsenault, do I run on solar at all? Not yet. That is the game plan for us this year, is to get the house on solar. I want to go 100% solar and use the grid as my backup. That's our game plan. Mrs. Pinball and I are working on it, but the wintertime is not the time to get up on a roof and do it and everything. So I've been talking to one of the subscribers here about doing it. He's kind of helping me put together the whole setup and figuring out what we need, and then I've got to figure out where things can go and how it all works. But it's by this time next year I should be, barring, you know, hoping that the economy doesn't completely bite me in the butt. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we just scrolled again. There we go. Okay, so trying to figure out where we are. Old Rider, solar dehydrator probably only works in the summer in New Mexico or Arizona. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, just because there's no humidity to speak of. Hickory Croft Farm, prickly ash will also act as a painkiller. There's another one I've never heard of. I mean, again, so many people came up with so many things on the video today I hadn't heard of. I mean, a lot of this stuff I've got to look. Jacob, catnip will cause the zoomies and desires to scratch on the couch. Okay, smartass. All right, you're always good for one. Okay, old right. I saw Kitty Webb said wild lettuce is another painkiller. Where can you get it? Yeah, I'm guessing if it's wild lettuce, it's not something that would plant, but Yeah, I've never even heard of wild lettuce. Okay, scrolling on down. Jules, suggestions for places to buy heirloom seeds. Okay. Uh, I get mine from either Burpee, BURPEE.com, or from Hoss Tools, HOSSTOOLS.com. Uh, a lot of people have said Baker Creek, though I've heard that they are having a lot of shortages. I know in watching some of the stuff from Haas Tools, they're short on some stuff, but not everything. But yeah, I mean those are my two favorites: is Burpee and Haas Tools, and then like I said, a lot of people like Baker Creek. So those would be the three that I would look for. Those seem to be the most common ones, at least in the prepper community, because they've got the stuff that folks like us are looking for. August Blue, you think you can get a ham license online now? Okay. And then USA Prepper 76 says you can get it in Knoxville. All right. So, yeah. And then, the only ham radio I know of is the Baofeng. And, that's just, your little cheap $35 one or whatever it is. I mean, I think obviously you probably want something that's better quality than that. And I'd rather be putting solar on my house than spending money on a ham radio. So, again, my opinion. Where are we? And again, guys, if you have a comment you're trying to get to me, please put it in all caps, because the stuff in lowercase, I scroll right over unless something's real quick and catches my eye. Because I just don't have time to read every one of them. We'd be here for 6 hours. And in case you didn't all see, Angry Preppers going on at 9 o'clock, and I know a lot of people want to go over to that one. So as usual, we'll get off on time. Virginia Prepper, no wine, no hats. Not on a Tuesday. It's a work night. Okay, the hat is my Saturday night party hat, and no, the wine does not come out on the weekdays. Sorry, no, I got to get up in the morning and be a good little boy and earn a living. Okay, MS, yeah. GME $3 low back in 2020, now over $200 in after hours trading it. Yep. Yeah, chat room pumps. Kramer indicated it'd be difficult to prosecute. And it all depends. I mean, they said that Martha Stewart was going to be difficult to prosecute too, and she did a couple of years in Huskow. So, America First, guys, what's better than essential oils for a toothache? Jack Daniels and lots of it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the only problem is then you got to have something for that headache that you got the next day. So you get rid of one pain, you just give yourself another one. Do I have a recommendation for two-way radios? I'll give you the place to go look at. It's called, as silly as this is, it's BUY two-wayradios.com. Okay. They've got pretty much anything and everything that you can want over there. They will program it for you, ship it to it. I bought mine from over there, and I think I had them in 2 days or whatever it was. They were less expensive than anywhere else I could find, and the things work great. I mean, I gave them to friends of ours that live at the top of the mountain. They're probably a good mile away through all sorts of forest and up the mountain and everything like that, and we could talk back and forth, no problem. Which was kind of the point, because they're part of my mag, and so in a SHTF situation and phones go down, I want to be able to way for us to communicate. So that's why I've got them. So they'll have one and I'll have the other. Chief Jim, Johnny's Seeds. Yeah, there's another one I've heard of. I haven't heard as much as the other ones. Jules, Baker Creek Seeds ordered months ago and not here. Okay, and that, like I said, I've heard that they were running out of stuff. Yeah, check out Burpee, check out Hoss Tools. Hoss Tools is usually really good. If they've got it in stock, you'll have it at home in a couple of days. But I was buying all my seeds back, I think September or whatever, because we knew this was coming. CMAX just mentioned this too. I can't believe I forgot it. M.I. Gardner. There's another great place to get your seeds from. Can't believe I forgot. I was sitting there watching his videos today and completely forgot about it. Uh, Hang on, we just scrolled somewhere. I got to find where we were again. Okay, here we go. Cheryl Zeman, my Walmart has some burpee heirlooms. I was at Walmart this morning, and again, I'm in the middle of the sticks, and they had their whole display up, and they still had tons and tons of seeds. Now, I didn't look over them because I didn't need them. What I did see, though, surprised the hell out of me, is they were getting $2 for a pack of seeds, or $4 for the big ones. And I'm going, okay, that's getting a little steep. So seeds are getting expensive this year too. And Patty, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. But what I was saying, I mean, I couldn't believe it. $1.97 for a pack of seeds. And last year they were 97 cents. So, which even then was probably a little steep. But so the cost of seeds has doubled. MS, what's the outlook for the recruiting industry? Do I see comparisons to the 2009, 2011 down? I'm assuming that means downturn. Uh, yeah, okay. When I would, let's see, 2009, yeah, 2009 was a fun, 2009, 10 was a fun year for me. That was the year I got divorced, left Indiana, and wound up out to New Hampshire. Got out of accounting recruiting and wound up in IT recruiting. And IT pulled me through for a few years. Uh, I, I think IT recruiting will still be solid. Engineering, I'd be a little worried about. I do that as well, and I haven't touched financial recruiting in better part of 10 years now. Primarily, I've been doing the IT side of stuff and engineering. But yeah, the engineering stuff, I'd probably be a little bit worried about. IT, I should be fine. But fortunately, I've got enough diversity now with clients that I can work with. And I think I told you the other day, I'm recruiting salespeople right now for an e-commerce company. So cross my fingers. I don't want to go through, that again. I'm not going through a divorce and losing my house at the same time as losing a job and the economy crashes. So I better not be going through a divorce. Wife. Okay, let's see. Terry says a Dollar Tree just got in a whole bunch of seeds, have a nice amount of gardening stuff. Don't dismiss places like that. No. And you'll see a lot of people in here, the dollar stores are talking about them all the time. 4 packs for $1 or something like that. Guys, even if they're not heirloom seeds and you see 4 packs of seeds for $1, go ahead and get them. Okay. Plant them. I mean, even if they, fine, you can't save seeds from them. I mean, last year I planted some heirloom tomatoes. I planted some non-heirloom tomatoes. Remember, you got to remember something about the hybrid vegetables. The hybrids have been grown either for, multiple things: better disease resistance, better pest resistance, better output of your crop. So, I mean, it's not just, some mad scientist going, gee, let's see what happens if I put these two together. They're actually doing it to increase the yield. So, growing some hybrids is not a bad idea. You can't save the seeds from them. That's the only downside. But like the celebrity tomatoes I grew last year that were hybrids, we had more of those than I had of the Rutgers tomatoes or the Black Krim tomatoes, which were both my heirlooms. So will I grow all three again this year? Yes. I will just keep my tomatoes separate so they don't crossbreed and I don't wind up creating my own hybrids. I want to keep my seeds too. But yeah, if you see cheap seeds at Dollar Tree, go ahead and get them, plant them. I mean, what's the worst you're out? It's 25 cents a pack. If nothing comes up, you're out a quarter. If you got something out of them, hey, it's some food you can put up. CMAX, Menards has 39-cent seeds. Okay, yeah, I'm at Menards, obviously up north. I haven't been around a Menards since I lived in Indiana. Diane Fritz says Johnny Seeds isn't taking orders from home gardeners now. Okay. It's not somebody that I'm that familiar with. I've heard the name a couple of times, but that's good information. And C, bought organic seeds at the feed store. Yeah, depending on where you are, feed stores, hardware stores, obviously the big box stores, Walmart, Dollar Tree, you can find them all over the place. If you find them, guys, grab them because maybe your neighbor can't find them and you got some or whatever it is, it's, I don't want to say it's a barter item, sure, but I mean, it's also a good introduction item to get somebody involved. Hey, oh, you're gardening, everything like that, and you kind of get onto the prep talk, and all of a sudden you got a new mag member or something. So, uh, CMAX says seed to seed book, seed saving book, great resource. Yeah. Come summertime and fall, as we're doing it, I will kind of show everybody how to save some of the, let some of the stuff go to seed, show you what you got to do. Onions are kind of an interesting one. I mean, if onions are biennial, so you won't get seeds the first year, but you'll get them the second year. A lot of people don't know about fermenting tomato seeds, so there's certain things that I'll go over when we do them, show you guys how to do it real quick. It's all real easy. It's just ugly. It's like last year letting my radishes go to seed. Now you got all these ugly plants, growing so I can get some seed, but I got a ton of radish seed. Hang on, I gotta find where we were. David Williams. Okay, yeah, only from the guy in Mexico. Plant some agave. 7-8 years you can make tequila. Okay. Wilderness woman. Solar's awesome. Would not go back on the grid. I want to get there. Like I said, that's my mission for this year. August Blue. Dollar Tree has a 2-ounce box of marigold seeds for $1. Box says it covers 25 square feet. Good for keeping critters out of the garden. Yes. Okay. Deer, rabbits, stuff like that. They hate the smell of marigolds. Somebody said in the comments today, fleas and ticks don't like the smell of marigolds either. So, there's a good one. That one I didn't know, but I knew it for rabbit and deer. Kitty Webb, alcohol is important for prepping elixirs for medicine and sterilizing. Yeah, vodka basically. Don't do it with the Everclear. Yeah, you could, I guess, but CMAX, non-heirloom will still produce fertile seeds. Oh yeah, absolutely they will. The problem is when you plant them next year, you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, let's say, for example, you have a tomato, and I'm just going to make some up, that's a cross between a Rutgers and a Black Krim, okay? And so next year you plant it, and it's, oh, these are all great tomatoes. Well, the next year you may get some Rutgers tomatoes, you may get some Black Krim tomatoes, you may get some crosses, whatever it would be. You're still going to get produce. Don't get me wrong. You just don't know what you're going to get. That's the only thing about planting hybrids. You may get something that's absolutely fabulous. You may get something that's absolutely disgusting. So, but yeah, they'll still produce fertile seeds, and you can still plant them the following year. It's just kind of a crapshoot what you get. Amy Arsenault, how long do you think seeds will last year-wise? Depends on the seeds. Usually you'll have a step down in the germination rates of them, but usually a couple, 3 years is pretty safe. You'll still get 75% germination out of them, everything like that. I mean, I'd never throw out some seeds without at least putting them in dirt and see what happens. I mean, somebody asked me today about 10-year-old seeds that they found, I think it was on basil. And, as long as they're not soft and mushy, and as long as they're not moldy, plant them. I mean, again, you've got them. If they come up, great. If they don't, then it didn't work. Big deal. Most seeds will germinate in, a week to 2 weeks. You're going to know pretty quick whether they're going to come out. At this time of year, it's still early enough. If you got seeds you're not sure about, put them in a cup of dirt and see if it comes up. If it doesn't, you got plenty of time to go out and backfill it, if you will. Prepper Now's in the house talking about tomatoes. Okay. JB Preps, hybrid seeds are great. If you can take care of the seeds, you can keep for at least 5 years. Yeah, again, like I just said, all depends on the germination rate. The germination rate's going to go down, but yeah, plant them. What's the worst that can happen? Kitty Webb, find seeds right in fruits and vegetables that you use daily. Yes, but okay, there's a big caveat with this one. Okay, vegetables when they are in the store, okay, they're spray. Depending on where they've come from. If it's a plant that's come from outside the country, forget it. Okay, because they've been irradiated to kill any disease that kills any of the seeds in them. So if you get mangoes or guavas or something from Australia, you're not going to be able to plant the seed and get anything. It's not going to happen. Okay, avocados, same thing. If it's grown in California, great. If it's grown in Mexico, not going to happen. All right, uh, but then the grocery chains also spray a inhibitor on the vegetables to keep them from sprouting in the stores. So a lot of if you're going to do that, your best luck is going to be from an organic store, uh, because a lot of the stuff that you're going to get in a Kroger or a Piggly Wiggly or whatever it is not going to grow. It might, okay, but I wouldn't count on it. Okay. Honey Prepper, thanks for telling us not to vacuum seal seeds. Had them all sealed. Yeah, they need oxygen. Uh, okay. Yeah, JB Preps, great comment there. Great way to see if seeds are viable. Moist paper towel inside a Ziploc bag. Yeah, basically what you're doing is you're creating a real little greenhouse for them and see if they grow. Okay, and if they sprout, fine, drop them in dirt and you're good. Uh, Brianna, will an LED 5,000 lumen light work to start seedlings? Okay, now you're gonna. It depends. You got to have the right amount of lumens and the right amount of Kelvin. And I'm gonna get. It's either 2,000 lumens and 5,000 Kelvin, or 5,000 lumens and 2,000 Kelvin. One of the two. Uh, Off the top of my head, I got to go back and watch my video because I always get those two mixed up. And even when I did the video, I said watts. So I changed it down in the description. But in that description, it'll tell you. But it's not only the lumens, it's also the Kelvin that you got to watch. And you're going to need both. Uh, but as for LED, that's fine. Those are exactly the ones that I showed you that I use. Kitty, my garden grows well till hubby starts watering every day. Is he drowning your plants? It's the old two-finger test. You put two fingers down, or if you get down to the second knuckle and it's moist, you don't need water. If it's dry, then you need water. So I mean, that's pretty much the extent of that one. But if he's drowning your plants, tell him to stay out of your garden. Okay, let's hang on. I'm hunting, guys. Okay. Do. Kitty Webb, you heard because of the polar melt, they're moving that seed vault, the Arctic seed vault. Yeah, I briefly heard something on that, and I mean, don't know much about it. Don't know anything about it. So let's not kid myself. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, seeds, as long as you don't let them get wet and don't, I mean, as long as they don't get moist in sunlight, they should save. Just as long as they can breathe. That's about it. They're a living being, if you will. CMAX, remind folks that some berry plants, veggies, and fruits take years to produce. Plant now if you can't get those in ASAP. Yeah, asparagus is a good example of a vegetable that takes years to produce. I'm going to plant my asparagus from seed this year, and I mean, I'm not to expect to get any asparagus to eat out of that for 3 years. I've planted blackberry bushes a couple of years ago. I've yet to get any blackberries off of them. They're still got to grow. So yeah, they're again, everybody, you always think about people. It's like, oh yeah, I've got seeds. In case of SHTF, I'm just going to throw them in the ground. There's a hell of a lot more to gardening than throw some seeds in the ground, put some water on it, and you're done. All right. those are the people that are going to starve. That's why I say to everybody, practice now. Okay, learn your soils, learn what grows well in your area and what doesn't grow. I mean, one type of green bean may grow fabulously where you are, and another one may not grow at all. You know, a lot better if you learn which one grows well now than when all of a sudden you're counting on that to eat. So, try it. And if it grows great this year, good. Then you got a winner and you plant that one every year. If it doesn't grow worth the shit, then try something different next year. Use this time to practice and, see what you can get out of it. Did we just scroll again? Nope. Okay. See next, look up, boy, you're busy tonight. Look up companion planting if you have several things you'd like to plant for a good crop. Yeah, companion planting is very important. I touched on this on a couple of videos, like your brassicas, say cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. You don't want to plant, you think, oh, gee, they're all in the same family. I'll plant them all in the same spot. It makes sense, right? The only problem is if you get a disease on your cabbages, for example, that disease is going to go to your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts instantly. Poof, you lost your whole crop. So you need to separate those, for example. Then there's some things that don't like growing, at all with other things. We all know Three Sisters, which grows very well together, but then there are other things that you don't want anywhere near each other. So I reference almanac.com all the time. Go there and look for your companion planting. This is the time of year you need to be doing a lot of research on stuff, because you'll find what grows well together, what doesn't grow well together, and because maybe one's a heavy feeder, needs a lot of nitrogen, and if you've got two plants next to each other that both want a lot of nitrogen, they're going to fight each other for that food. Neither one of them is going to grow well. So maybe you grow something that is a nitrogen fixing plant like peas or beans or something, and put that with something that likes nitrogen as well, because the one's producing it and the other one's using it. They're both using it, and they'll grow well together. So, but companion planting is very, very important. Okay. Okay, trying to find this in. Getting so mad at him for that. Also, likes putting Miracle Grow on them. I don't like. But yeah, the problem with Miracle Grow is Miracle Grow's great for green growth. Okay, because it's heavy nitrogen. All right, and that's wonderful to get the plant nice and green and big. It won't help you with fruit set at all. Okay, you need your potassium. You need your sodium in there. NPK, potassium and phosphorus, not sodium. That's what's going to help you get your fruit set. The nitrogen is going to get you all the green growth. So go there. I'll bring this up just in case anybody is wondering. Hadn't talked about this before, but I did this last year and it actually works. And mentioning Miracle Grow kind of put it in my mind. If people have asked, what can I grow in an apartment or a small space or whatever? There's something, it's called hay bale gardening. And I tried this last year with my sweet potatoes and it worked great. Okay. Get a hay bale, your square hay bale. And you got to season it first, but this is where the Miracle Grow comes in. Sprinkle some Miracle Grow over it, water it down heavily so it's saturated. That nitrogen in the Miracle Grow will cause that straw to start breaking down quickly and turning into compost. I planted sweet potatoes in there. I put 6 potato slips into 3 hay bales. I wound up with about 20 pounds of sweet potatoes last year out of those 6 slips, growing them in hay bales or straw bales. And I mean, there was no digging to anything like that. I just got out there, 4 months, pulled apart the hay bales or straw bales. I'll keep saying hay. Pulled out all my sweet potatoes, took all the straw, threw it right in my garden, tilled it in. It's now part of my garden compost. So if you don't, if you're on a patio or something and you want to grow sweet potatoes or something like that, you can do that right in a straw bale. So just an idea for you real quick. There's videos online about how to do it too, but I'm just telling you it actually does work and it's real easy. Okay. uh, Miss Kishimari, can I use sardines as fish emulsion? Uh, I would not use it on. I wouldn't use it on a top dress. Sardines are fine if you want to bury them under your plants. I mean, when you're putting your tomato plant in the ground, uh, put a sardine down there. Put some crushed up eggshells at the bottom of your tomato plants and at the bottom of your pepper plants, eggshells as well. Uh, it's going to act as a slow release fertilizer for it. I wouldn't put it on the top, uh, use it as like a fertilizer on the top dressing or something like that, because it will attract then raccoons and everything like that who are going to dig everything up. They'll smell that sardine from a mile away. But bury it underneath your plants when you plant them and you should be okay. Kitty Webb, got to keep warm water as well on top of your new seedlings. Yeah, do not use ice cold water. Room temperature water is fine. Don't use cold water. Let the faucet run a little bit when you're doing it. You don't want your plants to go through a shock from that cold water. There you go. Voodoo Queen, 5,000 lumens, 2,000 Kelvin. Thank you. Okay. I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. Okay. Virginia Prepper, there was a 7.0 article earthquake in Antarctica. Okay. The Putin floating nuclear plant, I don't know what that means, but okay. Let's see what else we got. Becky Reed, how many years does it take to get elderberries? I put my bush in last year and it got to a decent size. I will probably get elderberries this year. When I planted it, it was about 8 or 10 inches tall. So my guess is you probably second year. I mean, I'll let you know if I get them this year. Again, we've been in the house for just short of 2 years, so I had to redo everything around here because there was nothing here. Brian Barbie, soil. Yes, no kidding. And I'm done hauling cow manure. I need some horse manure, and I will be done. If I wasn't lazy on Sunday and got out and did my tilling like I was supposed to, I'd have been okay, because then it poured rain all day yesterday, and so now I need dry weather for about a week so I can mix everything in together, because I need to get that garden ready. Kitty Webb, I feed squirrels that way they stay away from the plants. Yes, so does my wife. Okay, I mean, there's telling me today, oh, we need to go buy more sunflower seeds. I'm like, we spend as much money feeding the damn wildlife as we do feeding our dogs. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll put corn out and stuff like that, cracked corn or whatever, for the squirrels and the chipmunks and the birds and everything. So, I want them to stay out of my garden too. My dogs help with that, so that's good. But they're only out so much, but they love to chase the squirrels anyway. They learned where you fed them from. Yep. Okay. Yeah. They know. Like any other animal, path of least resistance. If they know that's where the food is, that's where they're going to be every day. They're not going to go look around. It's like, I already know food's there. Why am I going to go look somewhere else? JB Preps, that's a good comment. Treat plants like kids. Lukewarm water, sun protection, cold protection. Yeah, I mean that exactly. I mean, they are little kids. They're gonna provide for you. So, take care of them as best you can. And of course, then we've got to go scrolling back up here. Virginia Prepper says homemade pineapple wine is almost done. Okay. JB, plant tons of arugula first thing because flea beetles love it, and we'll leave everything else alone. Okay, yeah, my arugula will be going in pots this year because I don't need that much of it. Container gardening, yes, definitely. for what you got in the way of space. I mean, a lot of things you can grow in 5 gallon buckets, but if you're potatoes, for example, yes, you can grow them in 5 gallon buckets. You'll probably get about 3 pounds of potatoes in a 5 gallon bucket. I'd rather plant potatoes in a kiddie pool because potatoes don't need the depth. Potatoes need the width. I mean, they're very close to a surface plant. So, if I could do 5 gallons spread vertically, that would be a better way to do it. But yeah, container gardening, absolutely. I mean, like I said, kiddie pool, 5 gallon bucket. The little boxes, the window boxes are great for like peas. You just put a piece of remesh or something up as or anything that you can make out of the way of a trellis, even strings that you can do something for them to vine up. You got to get creative with it depending on what space you got. Yeah, Paul Taylor, Applejack tonight on Mobile Bay. Okay, there you go. Enjoy. I hope it came out good. CMAX, if you're into a small space looking to square foot gardening, yeah, it's something, this weekend we're going to be doing some of the planting. I'm going to show you guys a couple of tips on a few things because we'll be doing onions, sweet potatoes, and peppers this weekend because it's time for me to get those started. So I'm going to show you the different things to do for those. If you already know what to do, then ignore me. If you don't, I'll show you some tricks. But go there. Holy crap, it's 5 to 9 already. Hickory Croft Farm, you can use any fish technically as fertilizer. Yeah, I mean, just like I said, plant them underneath the tree. Just make sure it's deep enough so you don't have all the critters come trying to get the fish out. Voodoo Queen Herbalism, buy a bag of chicken scratch, half a cup in a bucket for tote, grows fodder for chickens. There you go. Patty B, how do you test soil for pH and mineral balance? You can get the soil test kits at the hardware store, the garden center, whatever it is. They're usually okay. They're not as accurate. Send it off to your local extension office, college, maybe your co-op does it. But yeah, usually sending it to the lab is the best way to do it. It'll probably cost you about $30 to get a soil test done. But they'll tell you what your pH is, what you need to, how to amend the soil, what you need to put into it, and everything like that. Because if you just get your little test kit at home, you stick it in there, it could be off by a couple of tenths, and then you put too much lime or too much sulfur in your garden, and then you screwed everything up the other way, and you're doing too much trying to balance it. So, at least in my opinion, it's worth spending, the extra $10 or whatever over the store-bought test kit to have, a horticulturalist or, soil analysis done by a professional. Okay. Amy, do you poke holes in the bottom of the kiddie pool for drainage? Yes. Okay. Because otherwise, if all that water starts pooling in the bottom of the thing, you're going to rot all your potatoes. So yeah, put some holes in there, just get a drill bit or whatever, pop it through. I mean, whatever you want to do. Holes shouldn't be that difficult. You don't want big holes or something like that because then all the dirt's going to come out and make a mess everywhere. But get enough holes in just like you would have. If you take a regular kiddie pool, put 20 to 30 holes in the bottom of it, that are a quarter inch around or whatever, and you'd be fine. Just so it can drain everywhere. All right. Tammy Moore, please warn straw bale with nitrogen can be highly combustible. Must soak the bale into water and continue to check and add water when needed. It. Yeah. Okay. I didn't have to soak the bale in water. I mean, I stood out there with a hose for 10 minutes and got it soaking wet. Yes. But yeah, again, you're trying to compost and putting the nitrogen in with the carbon, which is the straw. So yeah, you got to make sure it stays wet. Okay, guys, let's see if we got anything left. We got about 1 minute here. Kitty says thrift stores can have some valuable items. Yeah, always check those out. Actually, the video I'm doing tomorrow morning is on a lot of stuff like that you can look for to get dirt cheap and free. Not that you want to go out and buy it all the time, but just stuff to keep an eye out for because you're gonna need it. So that's tomorrow morning's video. But it's 9 o'clock, and I know Jason's got his interview going on here, and I know probably a bunch of you want to get over there, so I'm going to let y'all go. But thank you all. Have a great Tuesday evening. Pinball out.